Hello and welcome to my final project presentation. For my website, I named it Microtern. The contents of this presentation will go over the goal statement, the project roadmap, the database setup, as well as the live demo. All other content will be included in the final report and the zip file containing all source code. Microtern bridges the gap between students seeking practical experience and companies looking for educated, driven individuals. In today's competitive job market, employers often prioritize candidates with both education and experience. Yet students frequently struggle to find meaningful opportunities to gain that very experience that they desire. Microterm provides a solution by offering a platform where companies can post small project-based job descriptions where students can effortlessly discover, view, and apply to those micro internships. This helps them gain valuable hands-on experience while contributing to real-world tasks. Our mission is to create accessible and practical learning opportunities that empower students and facilitate talent discovery for companies. Now, this is the project roadmap for Microterm. In step one, this included both project planning and wireframes. For project planning, I gained a very clear idea of what website I wanted to create, as well as many of the main components that I would continue to improve and develop upon. For the wireframes, this helped me gain a clear visual of the pages and as well as what type of tables I would need to include to handle all information. Now, for step two, I submitted checkpoint one and two. In these steps, I created schema, which dramatically decreased the workload for um, later on SQL database setup. I also gained a clearer idea of what exactly I had time to achieve this project. Now, for front-end development, this was the most time-consuming step, which included mostly HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap styling. Um, it was tested just in basic HTML files, which made it very easy to test in IntelliJ. It's a very simple button. I could upload the file within a second, and I see how it looks. After I was happy with the general appearance of it, I then moved on to mid-tier development. In step four, I was able to connect to XAMPP and connect to MySQL as well as Apache. Then in step five, I was able to refactor each HTML file to a PHP file and then go into PHP create each individual database. I did some manually, some using SQL statements, but PHP made it very simple. And I was able to go in and insert fake data, which was necessary for the demo. This website heavily relies on fake information because the final product would require a lot of input from employers as well as students. So for demonstration reasons, it was very important to insert a lot of fake data into the database. Now, for bug testing and final touches, I tested it myself many times. Um, just going over issues because the project had broken many times when I was creating the database, but in the end, I got it fully functionable and final touches. It was just small CSS changes as well as a format. Okay, so this is the project database. As I mentioned before, I used PHP to create all these tables and many SQL statements. I'm not going to go through each piece of information, but as you can see in each bubble, we have the table title, which is applications, compatibility, tasks, users, opportunities, preferences, and projects. Under each table title, we have each attribute alongside if it's a primary key, foreign key, or neither. This is necessary for connecting tables, matching data, storing data, and maintaining state across pages. In the very beginning of this project, I had higher ambitions of how many tables I was going to need because I wanted to include even more functionality for the website. But due to time constraints, I was unable to achieve this. However, with these tables alone, I was able to create a functionable and clear product, which I will now show you. Okay, so now I'm going to start the demonstration for Microtern. As you can see, I have MySQL and Apache running. Here's my database running on phpMyAdmin. And if this is running on my local host port 8080, but if it was set to a distinct URL on the internet and a person accessed it, this would be the page that they open to. So you can see jumpstart your career with Microtern internships. Down here, it talks about the opportunities that are offered. This card talks about the visualizer tools that Microtern offers. And as you can see, it is linked to the visualizer, but since I'm not logged in, it's not available to me. Same thing for explore opportunities. Now, I do have an account, but for demonstration purposes, I'm going to show you how to create an account. You click create an account or get started today, where you're brought to this page. You would enter all information, accurate information, then complete this quick survey and click create accounts, which would insert all that data into the user's table. As you can see here, I already done that. We can see my name. For this password, the password is blah blah, and I included a simple hash function to extend it to 60 characters, as you can see, which greatly improved the security, even though this is not on the internet. It's important to practice security. Okay, so now I'm going to log in with my credentials. Now, as you can see, we get a new refresh of buttons on the top right, where we can quickly log out, access an account, messages, and profile. If a typical user was using this website, they would be able to upload the profile image, which would replace this one. However, it is going to remain just as you see. Now, okay, so now that I'm logged in, I have full access to all the website has to offer. So as you can see here, on the My Projects tab, we are shown all projects that I'm currently working on, as well as the projects that I am pending on. This will be more obvious once I get to opportunities, but for now, I'll show you just how this generally works. Okay, so now, as I mentioned before, all projects and opportunities and even the visualization, it's all created with fake data. So do not pay too much mind to that. Just focus on actual function of website. So to begin with, if you had many projects you were working on, you'd be able to sort it by due date, descending or ascending, progress, whatever you like. If you'd click new project, it redirects us to the opportunities page. If you would like to search for any type of project you are working on, you could search friend, for example, short it down, QA, as you can see, it fully works. Now, this is just basic information of the project name, description, due date, and progress. If I was working on this project, I'd be able to click into it, gain access to more information, as well as update the project. So, for example, this project is at 80% right now. If I would like to let the employer know, say, hey, I worked on my project today, it's at 85% now. I'll be able to update it. Now, for this button, this is where you'll be able to submit the final files or reports into the database, or the employer will be able to access and receive that very content that you provided them. Now let's go back. As you see, this is available for each individual one. Okay, now moving on to the pending projects. These are the exact same. The only difference is that the status is pending. However, in the real world, this employer that is assigned to employer ID would receive your application and then reply back to you, um, basically just confirming that you got the project, which would then move this project up into your currently working on uh, section. Okay, so now let's move on. From here, you can access opportunities, like I said, through here or this button. So let's do that. So this is all, once again, fake data that I generated using AI. Um, it's really nonsense data, it's just a good idea. But this would, um, essentially, this would be filled with all real job opportunities and would be able to go on for pages and pages. It is fully functionable as well. You could sort it by microturns, get sorted by part-time jobs, opportunities, volunteer, whatever you'd like. You can also search for keywords. These sorting tools are just used to help you on your job search and help you easily find opportunities. Okay, so now let's say you found an opportunity that you're interested in. You click View Details. You'll be able to read through the whole description that the company provides. In the real world, this would be a lot more descriptive and more professional in a sense. But this is just basic demonstration, so it doesn't matter. You then click Apply, which would take all this data, use the applications table to relay that over to the project table and insert it into your pending projects. Then, after it's reviewed, it'd be moved into your projects table where you would then be able to get working on it and submit your work that easy. And overall, I'm trying to show that Microtern can help students greatly for putting experience on their resume as well as networking and getting comfortable with working in the industry or even if they're interested in that industry. Employers are also able to complete smaller tasks or projects without having to offshore this work or hire new employees. Um, what I'm trying to say is that it simplifies what they need to get done for a cheaper and quicker result. Now let's move on to the visualizer. With the final product, I would write code that would use the user's progress as well as their preferences, um, and the company's preferences to calculate compatibility scores, career paths, and this would all be visible here, where you could see basic trackers and milestones that you would like to complete. But in the sense, as these are complete, the system would get to know you better and store the data, not sensitive data, but basic data, and then make calculations based off of that and make your experience even more immersive and successful. Down here, an opportunities map. It is not interactive. I quickly just photoshopped a basic little map where you can see where you are as well as concentrated locations of where opportunities are. Up here is just basic list of random locations saying like there's 71 opportunities in New York, Brooklyn, all the rest that you can see. In the real world, this website would have access to the user's location, which would then be able to create this map and populate this table with valid, correct opportunities. Now, let's go over to account. In this section, you can see, in this section, you can see basic information that I actually submitted when I was creating the account. You can see exact information in the survey that I asked about. If you made any mistakes in the beginning of your registration, it's okay because you can edit your account and save any changes that you would like to make. Also log out from here, and employers can download your resume directly from your account. Down here, this stores all your preferences, where you can also go into edit and change anything you like. say I did not like technology anymore and I would want to switch to education. It saves the preference just fine. So as I mentioned before, I wanted to include more data originally, which would result in asking about more preferences and such, because these preferences are used to calculate compatibility between user and company, which in regard to the website, that's necessary because all of your opportunities and your projects and visualizations all based off of your compatibility with the specific companies. Um, Now, in the final product, employers would be able to upload any preferences or skills that they are looking for, which would then link up and match with users. This is what would increase or decrease compatibility, which, as you saw on the visualization page, the compatibility scores are returned to you. And ultimately, this is just to help you decide what companies are available and what companies may be a great fit for you. This can help you with internships, microturns, or even a full-time job. That is all for Microturn. I'm going to log out, which redirects me to the homepage. And I would like to say thank you so much for watching this video. I had a lot of fun with this project. It was very time consuming and difficult at times, but I believe I created a very unique and important product that can solve many issues for students nationwide, even worldwide. So thank you so much. Bye bye.